we have a scumbag.
Scumbag? Seller?
Of
The
week.
week.
Now, this is an interesting scumbag seller of the week because this is one that was discovered on the Not So Common podcast with our pal Chris Kohler.
Hey,
Well,
Chris
gets 2 shout-outs at the podcast. Chris, buddy.
Chris, you're basically
Chris,
a feature on this
A
episode.
couple more, you can branch off, do your own Twitch channel. You can do live collecting on Twitch. So on the Not So Common podcast, we were talking about, stuff. I don't know how we came up to like really weird collectibles in the retro gaming scene. And there's weird stuff and there's weird stuff. One of the strangest things to me is the U.S. in quotes version of the Master System Sonic the Hedgehog.
Right.
It was a later release. I believe it was 91. At that point, it was dead in the U.S. Master System. And I remember seeing Sonic at my kiddie city like that late.
Yeah.
Because I was the only idiot getting a Master System that late. Because I got that the same Christmas as I got this Super Nintendo in 91. So Sonic the Hedgehog did come out in the U.S. It did.
Yeah.
What's weird about Sonic in the U.S., though, is that there's a claim, I guess, that some exist with a US UPC sticker on the box. A sticker over the UPC on the case. Because all Sega Master System games, they don't have a box. They have just a case and it's sealed up.
Correct.
So this has a sticker over the case, I should say, not in the box. The sticker of the UPC is over the case.
So the question I've
To make it
always
a
had-
U.S. UPC because it's a multilingual. It's one of the few that came out in the U.S. I think along with Strider and I think Mickey Castle of Illusion. There might be one more. Spider-Man.
has the multi-language manual.
I think Spider-Man is the other one. There's like 3 or 4 that have the multi-language case that came out. And that European version was brought to the U.S. because they were later releases. And this was one of them, Sonic. There wasn't a U.S. case.
Is the UPC supposedly over the plastic or under the plastic and over the slip?
See, that's what's weird about it.
Okay, because I was always under the impression it was supposed to be it was under the plastic over the slip.
I thought it was too. I thought it was directly on the box. That's what I thought. So, and the ones that I know that have existed, I didn't know there was a sealed one ever. But we can look at them online. So when I was talking to Chris in the NASCAR podcast, we found one that was selling for a large amount of money with a US UPC sticker, which I've never seen one in person, by the way. They're that hard to find.
Right.
It's debatable whether or not that was only some stores that did that or they all did that. But enough of them came out in the US that I would think that more would probably exist if they were all done that way. So let's look up Sonic Master System US and go to like completed. And that'll come up. By the way, Sonic 2 and Spinball and other ones came out all over the world, just not here because it was dead and gone. The Master System here. Let's see. Worldwide and do completed. And you'll get some in the US, but not many. All right. So the one we were looking at, there's 2 that come up that have sold. One sold on January 29th, not sealed. It sold for $600. Which to me, I remember looking at that, I'm like, that's actually, for a game that, even it's just a little piece, it's actually not terrible price if you value it being that rare. Now, we'll get into valuing a sticker for that much money, though. So the one that sold in New York at the end of January, yes, if you look at the sticker, it's directly on the case.
Okay.
On the top of the plastic part of the case. Okay? And you have the number there you see is 070767 on the last 6 digits on there. That sold the end of January. It totally covers the plastic one underneath.
Right.
Totally covers it. So then me and Chris discovered this one that was selling for $1,300 in beginning of March 12th. And this is out of Arizona. Sold by the seller's Cat Babe. 2 T's, CATT_Babe. Cat Babe.
Right.
Cat Babe. So that one that sold, when you click on it, did you find it?
I found the seller.
So click on the completed. So this was a sealed one, first of all. First of all, it was sealed. There's even the Sega seal on the sticker on the case that opens that you see on some of them.
Yes.
When you look at the UPC though, it's weird. It's the same numbers as the one we saw that was authentic that sold for $600. But it doesn't totally cover up the code on the case underneath. So when Chris saw that on the podcast, he said, that's strange. I've never seen one that didn't cover up. It's shorter. Why isn't it covering up the entire UPC code on the plastic? You got it yet? Just look at
I
completed
have
listings.
the current one.
Just click on completed listings, and you can find it. So at the time, Chris said, I think that could not be real. That could possibly be fake. And I thought to myself, that's a good point, based upon because Chris has one. And for the ones that he's seen, they totally covered it underneath. And if it's a UPC, you want it to cover because you don't want to have to scan two different ones by accident. Like a UPC is a code that you scan.
1325.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. So if you see that one, you can see that it's totally not covering it. So we didn't think anything other at the time. But there's now another one for sale from the same seller. Another sealed U.S. Sonic the Hedgehog with the UPC.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can. That UPC is totally.
It's not covering it.
Yep.
So now if you look at the new one for sale, so the last one sold at $13.25, and I feel really bad if that person got it because it was most likely fake. It was a European one that they put it.
Right.
Because European ones go for like $20.
Yeah, they're
That's one I have. I don't give a shit. So, but when you look at the new one, Ian, they're starting at $1,444.44.
Yep.
There's a weird Sega seal of quality
Quality.
sticker on it. I don't know what that is. That looks like a Genesis, the gold Genesis logo
Yeah.
to me. But then when you look at the UPC of the new one,
It's totally different than the last one.
it's totally different, but the number is not proper. And Chris Kohler tweeted this saying, that's the UPC, I think he said, of Golden Axe Warrior.
Here.
Shenanigans!
Whoop, you're a scumbag. I mean, the likelihood of this person finding two of the sealed ones, unless they had like new old stock, is low as hell anyway.
Sure, the likelihood, but then they would not have different UPC
Well, obviously,
codes.
I'm just saying, just them having two of them would be odd to begin with. But two UPC codes, two differently cut UPC codes, different numbers.
So this would be easy to pull off. You'd find out you'd buy a 15. It actually could be cheaper than that. When I went to Europe, I think they were cheaper. You pay $15, $20. You buy a Sonic. You fucking cut out a UPC sticker. You print one up. You slap it on there. You reseal it up, and you say, "Oh, this is authentic."
Yeah. And this was always a concern I had with this game in the first place. I kind of figured that this might have been a larger problem. I'm surprised that this hasn't come up on the podcast
there's
yet.
not many people that are looking for this or know about
True.
this or
Okay.
value it. And this is where I got into Chris, we actually kind of agreed on this, that when you get into the video game ephemera or the stuff that's like weirdly associated with the games, when you start to overvalue them to begin with, like in the case of this, that's where I'm out, because this is what happens when you have someone that could have just got fleeced for $1,300 for literally thinking that a UPC sticker was made at the time and put on that package. I'm out.
Yeah.
That's because materially the game's exactly the same. The case is the same. The manual's the same. The game's like everything's the same. It's the same game. The games were produced the same time. Just that some came over here and some store or whatever, or I don't know if Sega of US did, or Tonka at the time was even, because they were doing the distribution of the Sega games, decided we want to put a UPC sticker to help out the local stores in the US. I'm out. I don't give a shit. I don't think it's worth that much. I don't care about it. And I would say that if I owned it. I don't care.
Sure.
You know, it'd be cool to own, but it's not worth that.
If you own that and a European copy, I'd be like, this is $600 that I could use for something else. Like, there's zero reason to.
Zero. And now, even the one that sold for $600, I'm like, even that was like, would I spend that much on it? Because I had the chance. I remember seeing that buy now, and I was like, it might have started lower. It could have been one of those ones that I raised it. I remember it was like maybe $450 or $5, and I was like, is that worth getting just because it's so rare, or is it still, who cares, it's a sticker? And I still was like erring on the side of, if that was like $100, I'd probably buy it, or $150, but $600, not for a fucking sticker.
Nope.
So all right, Cat Babe, you fleeced one person, allegedly.
Yeah.
But you're selling a Shining Force. You're selling a nice bikini. If you're a Cat Babe, maybe you wore that bikini, that two-piece, at one point. I don't know. And a copy of iRobot on DVD, widescreen edition. So I don't know how you got into this, or maybe you did somehow find ones that were mocked up by someone else that were trying to scam people. Maybe you're selling them offhand and don't know that.
But they're BS.
Odds of that would be kind of weird, especially if you know it's authentic to begin with. You know, if you looked into it, not just sold it as a Sonic Master System. This with that weird Genesis sticker on it too. So this is the first time I've encountered this, but I'm not shocked by it. Not shocked at all. So, sold a lot of sold the Rick Ross 50-cent Dis Authentic CD.
Oh,
Security sale.
all right.
A lot of stuff going on here. All right, Cat Babe, you are the Scumbag Sonic UPC Seller of the Week.